Hi fans, over here with Angel Moreno. How are you? Welcome to New York.
Good, thank you.
It's a privilege to have you over here in New York City. I say this because we don't see, a lot of the fighters from California coming over here. Eventually, we see them, like sometimes when they come, for the fight. But let's say, tell us what's the reason that you are here today.
Well, we came over here to try and network with people, get that exposure, make presence, for the Canelo fight.
For the Canelo fight.
Kind of brand ourselves.
That's an interesting, move. We're hoping, that one day you perform over here in Madison Square Garden, or either way, Barclays Center. That's which we consider the second mecca of boxing. Tell us about a little bit of your career. I know you said you fight 140 division. How does it work for you?
Oh, I feel really strong there. I think for the next one we'll be around 137. Maybe if we ever get the title shot, it'll be 135, and then I'll probably go back up to 140.
135. If I'm not mistaken, I think 135. That's the weight division of Lomachenko.
Yeah.
Do you think that if that fight comes in the table, would you take that?
Well,
I mean, there are so many fighters that are in the list, but let's say if anybody dogs Lomachenko, because we've seen that kind of, performance that he applies, will you be able to say yes, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, one thing with me is that, I'll never back down from, fighting anybody. I'll get in the ring with anyone. So, if it ever came to it, definitely, it's an opportunity,
You just mentioned it. It's an opportunity that when, it comes, sometimes it don't come twice.
Yep.
So definitely, I think, you have to take no longer ago, Pedraza says that they put it at that in the table. So he says, I will take that because, that one, I don't know if it will come another time. So even though, he lost, but he said that in an interview, he said that he feels great. He's satisfied with the job that he did, bringing Lomachenko in the 12th round, even though, he got knocked out in the 11th. But he says, I had the energy and that hunger inside of me to push forward and say, I got to finish the fight. I can't let the Lomachenko just end it like this. Even though, it was a kind of a fight that a lot of people think that Pedraza didn't do a great work, but in my opinion, I said Pedraza did, incredible work. I feel like Lomachenko, it was kind of, getting tired. What can you tell us, like, in your perspective, you watch Lomachenko, what was it, the things that you could tell, about it?
The thing about Lomachenko, I think, he's very slick. He has that trait where he can kind of walk in on anybody and they're kind of covering up because they don't know where he's coming from. And I think that's where a lot of the fighters that fight him, make mistakes because they're afraid to open up, because Lomachenko, he can counter and he can move, but I think he leaves himself a little open sometimes. He tries to mess with some of the fighters.
That's actually so interesting to see now what Lomachenko is gonna, say or he's gonna do in his next move. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think the WBC belt, Mikey Garcia own it. So, but we don't know if Mikey Garcia is gonna vacate the title or if he could, get that fight. But talking about Mikey Garcia recently just, he just have an opponent right now. So I really doubt that Lomachenko and Mikey can make that fight. But what do you think of, right now the Mikey made a move in order to face Spence? What do you think of that fight?
I think he has the skill. He has the skill and the experience, to be able to hang in there. I think Mikey's gonna do well. I don't think Spence is gonna knock him out. I think he's gonna go the distance with it.
He's gonna go the distance. What do you think? Do you think that Spence is the bigger guy? A lot of people say that. I think Mikey doesn't have a chance, but a lot of people that are being asking around is like, we don't know what Mikey sees. That everybody missed it. So I guess he feels confident. He feels like he made that step in order to make that fight happen. So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, or maybe whoever says that Mikey doesn't have a chance. I think we are trying to not underestimate him, but I think we're taking something away that Mikey already is picturing himself. So
yeah, definitely.
And also Spence, what can you tell us about Spence? I know Spence is the bigger guy, but how do you see the Spence? Like,
I mean, he's fast and he's strong. Fast and strong. He's a lot bigger than Mikey, but I mean, when it comes down to it, Mikey, he's a fighter. I think that fighter instinct is gonna take Mikey to another level.
To another level. Recently, Mikey spoke with some of the people from ESPN Spanish, and one of them it was Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. He actually mentioned, I think it's kind of like suicide for Mikey, but it's kind of like they discussing like what Mikey is gonna do with the bigger guy. But Mikey said in that interview he been in like training with sparring people. He actually faced the other bigger opponents, so that's one of the reasons that he feels confident in order to move to 147. So what do you think if Mikey, let's say an example, if he wins this fight, do you think that they're gonna put in a different level now?
I mean, I think that'll be his toughest challenge at 147. So I think if he comes out victorious, or even if it comes out to a draw, whatever the outcome is, I think he'll do great at 147.
147 definitely. If he makes that, first time, it's gonna be his, that fight in his career. He already spoke. He said that he wants greatness. He says that he wants to be one of the names that people remember him. So let's see. 2019 he has a lot of surprises. He has a lot of upcoming fights. But when it comes to you, when is the next time that we're gonna see you back in the ring?
We're looking somewhere around March. I got cut. Just gotta let it heal.
Yeah, I can see it. The fight fans, will see that. What I mean, it's part of things of boxing. I say, but at the same time, this message, is from me and goes for all fighters. I wish always the best, and and not only that, I wish that when the fight finish, everybody comes, safety, because
definitely
we actually see the fight and everything. It's an entertaining sport, but at the same time, you guys are the ones that expose your life right there. So I always give a credit to whoever loses, whoever wins. Always respect for you guys. So
always. Yep, that's for sure.
Is there any social media where all the fight fans can find you, so they can pursue?
I'm on Instagram at El Moreno Boxing, and on Twitter Angelito19, ANHELITO 19.
Definitely, the fight fans that will stay tuned, watch your fights, and hopefully one day you'll be here in the Madison Square Garden. So
that's the plan.
Angel, we wish you the best. Always greatness in your career, and we'll definitely we're gonna stay tuned and probably one day see you over here in Madison Square Garden.
Thank you
for everything. God bless you.